Welcome to another exciting episode of Joe Catrapalia Talks About Real Estate and Stuff, where I've been talking about my shipping container home project that I'm working on. And I also mentioned last time that I also am working on a tiny home build, and that's really new. I just got a piece of land under contract for that. That was my original plan for this first um, project, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, for a number of reasons, I wasn't able to do that. This is, I just have this background. I've been talking a lot about working with my architect and getting my plans together. One of the questions that a lot of people have had for me is, can I just buy plans online? You see these all the time. You know, well, if you're someone like me who spends a lot of time watching tiny home videos on YouTube and container home videos and whatnot, you'll get ads eventually that show you, buy this plan, or even sometimes there's some videos and they'll say, this is my plan, you can buy it below. Um, and so one of the questions that, a couple of people that have actually been watching these videos, and thank you for doing that, have asked is, oh, well, that says cans I just buy plans online, but the question is, can't I just buy plans online? And I'm sticking with I'm not doing takes or editing, just to save time and because, I don't think I'm very good at that and it would probably end up just as bad anyway. But so can't I just buy plans online is what I meant to say. And yeah, I think you can, but I think that there's a couple issues with that. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about, um, what I've done as far as how I got to the point where I'm at with my architect, why I didn't buy plans, and actually I did buy plans, and then why I didn't use those plans. But I'm going to talk about them a little bit in reference to this small lot that I mentioned yesterday that I have under contract. You can see, it's barely bigger than this car, right? It is a 25-foot lot. Um, we talked about having setbacks, and so have to have a 15-foot wide home at most, which is pretty narrow. Um, One of the things that I first started to do when I was looking at these homes is I just did a quick Google search, tiny homes, and you can find house plans. You can see I've already clicked on a number of these. Um, DIY. You can see, I spent a lot of time looking at these, trying to find different things. I actually bought some plans online. If you if you watch Rob Built's channel, who, if you're watching this, you should probably watch that because he does a much better job than me. He's funny and has built a couple of tiny homes already that he's using as short-term rentals. He was one of the people that I saw doing this that I thought was pretty interesting. Um, and when I watched his videos, I really just felt like I wanted a little more about how to develop those. And I think he's doing some of that. But this is his project here. He built this in a couple different places. So I did buy those plans, and you come to this website. He usually has a link to it. Um, it's 99 bucks. What I realized after I bought them is that they don't really fit with more than half of the lots that I had located, and that was sort of a problem. It's one of the reasons why I think, uh, one thing. So for this particular lot, this property is too wide before you even have the carport added on. I think it looks great, but for the type of land that I'm trying to find, I'm just trying to find these little lots that nobody else wants because I don't want to spend a lot of money on them. And I know the first one where I'm building the container home is a nice big lot, but it also, I was looking for a spot. That one had a small footprint where you could put, I was trying to minimize the trees I'm cutting down. Still trying to minimize it, but with the bigger footprint, it's gonna be more, unfortunately. Um, but so yeah, I think these are great. You can see somebody use those to build something. You can find a lot of times you can find videos of it online. You can see what that's really going to look like. But it might not work for what you were trying to do. And like it didn't for me. The other thing I like this site, it's house plans. One of the things that's cool about this, you can put in maximum width. And so now I'm only seeing homes that I could actually fit width-wise on that lot, which is the main constraint. It's plenty deep, although I think that I even noticed one of these is going to be too deep when you take in the front and rear setbacks. I don't remember what they were on this particular lot, but so I liked some of these. one of the things that I found is every single set that I find needs something changed, or it doesn't need it, but for what I want to use these for, I'd need to change something. And so at that point, you still need to get an architect involved. You can't just go and change them by yourself. You need them, even if the plans are ready that you could apply for a permit based on the plans. If you're trying to change things, you need to have somebody knowledgeable, especially with the local code, because it's not the same everywhere. There might be some particulars, although there is a unified code. Um, some in some locations you'll run into situations where you're going to need um, certain things done differently, and you won't know that just based on buying plans on the internet. And so this was another site though. What I like to do is go on here and steal ideas. I'm not, I actually have bought some plans, which is great, but like they'll show you, pictures and floor plans, um, and you know, I actually think it would be worth it to buy some of these as a starting point for an architect. So that might be something to do, depending on if you can find one that doesn't mind just adjusting the plans that you have versus starting from scratch. And I think, and I don't know about this particular site, but some of them you can actually buy the um, files that they use to create it, and so you can give that, as long as your architect uses the same software, you can give that to them. Another place where I found plans is on eBay. These ones I actually found some that I think would fit perfectly on the lot. Uh, it was a variation on this one. You can see I've already looked at this one, but it was one that was actually, I think, 12 by 24, but it looked very similar to this. I liked it. I But when you looked at the floor plans, I realized that's not exactly what I wanted. And one of the things, because I am planning to use all of these as short-term rentals initially, there's just certain things that you want to make sure that you have. You definitely want to maximize sleeping spaces, but also have good open entertaining spaces. But so one of the things that I've done a lot of is look at these, and then I just plot out little plans. And I use Excel. Um, I think this is, a really easy way for someone who's not very artistic. I can't draw, but I can, you just set your blocks, set them up so that they're square, and then decide what does a square block mean. And for these ones, they're going to be 6 inches by 6 inches. Um, and so one of the things that I've done, you can see that this is just me sort of playing around. I've had a number of different variations. But so I'll look at some of the plans online that I want, and then I'll play with floor plans like this a little bit. And then there are some lower cost architects that if you bring them floor plans or you bring them those plans that you bought online, they'll adjust them for what you need. They're not doing a full blown um, starting from scratch, and so that it's saving you some dollars on the front end. I would do this on these really small homes where maybe there's not much to it. For the property that the container home that I'm doing, I'm really glad that I got the architect involved that I did, because he's got uh, really thought a lot about how it sat on the site, and um, how the containers are going to work together, and understanding the needs that I had as far as having guests there, not residents, and what a couple little things that might be different in that regard. Um, but if really you're trying to build a very simple small home, and you like to set up things, and you just make whatever you want. I cut these beds off of somewhere online, and then you make sure you size them the right number. If every one of these is 6 inches, you just make sure you're sizing them to scale. This is something I spend way too much time doing. I think it's a lot of fun, um, but it's also, a cheap way to get something started, and then like I said, you can hand that off to somebody who will make actual plans out of it, but doesn't have to go through, the hours of, ooh, do I want to move a bedroom here? Am I going to fit a bathroom over there? What am I going to do? You're and you can do everything from the plans themselves to, making very crude elevations. And if you were artistic or good at this, you could probably make much better ones. Um, Now I lost my window. Yeah, so And so that one that I was looking at there, I actually, I was having a conversation with a different architect the other day, and he mentioned to me that all good design is really just about stealing other people's ideas and making it fit your project. This is, a channel that I like to watch. It's Tiny House Expedition. If I ever figure out how to give shout outs on here, if anybody knows, put it in the comments and tell me how to do that. But there's some way to do shout outs on YouTube I haven't figured out yet. But this is a great channel. He does a lot of cool shipping container stuff. And this is sort of the inspiration for that plan I was just looking at, showing you in Excel, is I was going to do a long container, uh, right? And that's what this portion is, just the long container. And then he's got a full length bump out, but I just want to do just a partial length bump out. And the reason, uh, that lot is too narrow to put two containers side by side. But just having the one narrow container, it's really hard to do anything other than a studio or one bedroom. Even if you use the 53 footers, I've seen some two bedrooms out of those, but you still just have this strange restriction in size, in width. And so, being able to do a bump out like this, I think this looks really great. And this was a pretty cool project he did. Um, just trying to take those ideas. And so, I guess, in conclusion here, you certainly can use plans that you buy online to a certain extent. And if I had the perfect lot where I could just plop this one down, the plans that I bought, I think, would just be perfectly fine. I mean, I know this one was operating as he's got, I think, two of them that are operating as short-term rentals and work well. And so that would be great. Um, but if you need to change anything, you just need to get a professional involved anyway. And so, it's a matter of the cost and how creative you are. I think for some of these smaller ones, I'm going to try and where I just make the floor plans and then I uh, give it to a professional to handle. But I don't know if that's really going to work. And we're going to go back to my typo page. Well, I just say remember to like and subscribe. I'm getting better at reminding you of that. And please do let me know if there are other things you want me to talk about. I do, as promised. I know I still have it on my list. I'm going to talk about these plans that for this container home that you can see here that I'm planning. Um, Now I've had several versions of the plans, and so I'm going to show you some of the minor changes that we went through that I think are going to make a big difference. And that's really the benefit that you get from working with a professional versus just trying to get something off the shelf that's going to be good enough. But until next time, no, I don't even remember. But yep, not editing that out. Just talk to you later. Thank you.